What it do, Pass the Aux crew? PTA stand up. Let's go. Yo, we are popping videos out this summer, and honestly, a lot of them on the subject of Ye, but we've got some more stuff in the oven, the proverbial oven cooking up. We've got some good ideas coming and some more live reactions. If we get more subs, we can do them live here in the podcast. The only one, by the way, in the car.
We don't talk about them.
We don't talk about our rivals.
What are they
also
called?
Are in a car.
See, I don't even know what they're called.
We don't know.
It's like J World.
We've seen them. J World. If you're
J
watching
World
this,
TV,
we're coming for you.
especially like the big ugly one.
Okay.
Fuck him.
Pass the Aux, back in the car, one and only. Today, on the subject, kind of a bully deluxe, given of what we saw off of this rapper and kind of the way he's been having a pretty good year, is Don Toliver on the Mount Rushmore of Ye collaborators. That means top 4. So when we were kind of thinking about how to craft this episode, it's like, what are, some of the big Ye collaborators that you could even potentially put in there? I think the biggest one, even though he hasn't been around lately, is Jay-Z.
Right.
Just from the get-go, through College Dropout, Late Registration, Dark Fantasy, Watch the Throne, throw him in on Jail, on Donda, like, he's always been there. Then you got Kid Cudi, 808s, Dark Fantasy, Yeezus, Pablo, Ye, Kids See Ghosts, Donda, again, Cudi's a classic. And then it gets a little bit more nuanced. I feel like everybody kind of points out, Cudi and Jay-Z. So those are 2 that we're putting on the Mount Rushmore for now. So we got 2 more open spots. Ty Dolla Sign is the most recent big one. Mm-hmm. He was on every Ye album from Pablo all the way through Vultures 2. Did not make it to the final cut of Bully. And he has 2 collab albums. Are they liked that much? No. But he did have them. He was all over Donda, Fingerprints all over Jesus is King, and so Ty's an option.
Right.
Then we have Dave Blunt's, who was really only in that sphere for like half a year, and I think most people are like,
I think it's a significant half of a year though.
Because significantly bad.
Bad or good, it's iconic. Well, I wouldn't quite say iconic. It's significant.
Memorable in a bad way?
Not in any way, just memorable.
Okay, yeah. You do remember it. So, it's like, and then Carti.
Right. From
Whole Lotta Red to Donda
to the Moon
to Vultures, he's on both of them, to originally being the executive producer for I Am Music.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like those 2 had a really strong 4-year run.
I believe he was also the executive producer, of Whole Lotta Red.
No, he was.
Could be
I think he was.
Because Academics was talking about that. Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let's just say Jay-Z, Kid Cudi.
Right. Locked in.
You got 2 more slots. Does Ty Dolla Sign make the Mount Rushmore?
Reluctantly, yeah, because they have collab albums together, and I think that's pretty significant. I'm not going off of who's my favorite to listen to. I'm going off of what's the criteria. What's going to be the name of the video here? Like, what's it going to be? Is he in the Mount Rushmore of Kanye collaborators in what sense?
You raise a good point. I would say I think it's got to be quality. Because I think quality makes more sense.
I still got Ty Dolla Sign just because.
Let's walk through some of their big ones. There's Real Friends on Pablo, Fade.
Mm-hmm.
Fade was pretty big. Then you had on Ye, you had him on I want to say he was on All Mine. No, he was on one of the songs on Ye, at least one.
Yeah.
Then he's on Kids See Ghosts, on Free. I think that was the only one he was on that. Jesus is King, he was all over. Donda, he was all over. And then Vultures, the big ones.
Yeah.
And let's look, you got to look at is a real niche, so I'm not going to go into it for every song, but let's look into it at least on Carnival. Carnival was a song in its early productions that Kanye heard, did not like. Ty found it. Ty worked on it a little bit more, and Ty was the one who went out and found Rich the Kid to write the hook for it. Then Kanye, kind of touched it up at the end. But that's Kanye's biggest song in the last 15 years. And it was because of Ty.
Yeah.
So
it was actually because of the TikTok Riz party, but I'm not going to get into that.
True. But the TikTok Riz party would have never happened if Ty did not go out and find that one. So some real nuanced niche lore, but that song is more Ty than it is Ye. I mean, his verse is the worst one on the song.
Right. Even worse than like a Cartman. So
yeah. So is Ty making the third spot?
I think on average, maybe because Vultures was really not it for me, but on average, I think maybe Don Toliver has a little bit of an edge. I think in terms of how many quality songs exist between the two, it's easily Ty Dolla Sign just because of the volume.
Okay. So we're going Jay-Z, Cudi, Ty.
Right.
Which leaves only one. Carti, Dave Blunt's, which is no. Carti, Don Toliver. I don't think there's anybody else that even has their name in the running.
Right, because we're not using producers. We're talking
not using producers,
rappers.
Just other rappers or artists that have collaborated with Ye. I think it comes down to those two, which ironically, two other new gens, if you will.
Right.
Don Toliver coming up in 2018. Carti, Die Lit was what, 2018?
Yeah.
So
yeah, both around 20, and then they had like a second boom in 2020. Yeah.
Let's briefly go through their collaborations. We already kind of did Carti, but Don Toliver starts on Moon, I believe, on Donda, and I think he's also on. It's Baby Keem on Praise God. Don Toliver's. I feel like he's on more than Moon, but the fact I can't remember that I think says something.
Right.
So let's say he's on Moon, and then on Vultures 1. Is he on anything? I don't. Maybe Fuck Some, but I think that's just Travis. I don't think he comes on the Vultures until Vultures 2. And I want to say Field Trip.
Fuck. They don't show the features on here, do they? Either of them?
No, I know he's on Field Trip, which got removed. I think he's on 2 Vultures 2 songs, I want to say. So he's on Field Trip and Moon. Those are like the 2 big ones, I guess you can say. And then, Ye's never been on a Don Toliver album, wasn't on Octane, wasn't on Hardstone Psycho, wasn't on like the earlier ones either. So then it gets a little more complicated with Bully because Ye flew him out to Japan to write the album when it was originally being worked on in fall of 2024. Or maybe that was 25. No, that was 24. And he was originally on Circles, got removed from Circles, and now has OK. So Moon, Field Trip, OK. Those are like the 3 songs, right? Unless you found one that I'm missing that I don't even remember.
No.
For Carti, it's Go to the Moon. It's where it starts.
Right.
Then he's on Off the Grid. And I think I know he's on another Donda song. I'm certain of it. Junior.
Is it
Junior?
Part 2?
He might be on both. Could be. He's on Junior, which is
one of them.
And then after Donda, he's on Carnival. He's on. Is he on Fuck Some?
Yeah, I believe he is.
I think he's on Fuck Some. Then on Vultures 2, he's on Field Trip, right? And
I think so.
I think that was it. And then Ye never made it onto I Am Music, even though he produced some of the early songs.
I know we weren't going to count producers, but I think when Ye is producing for an artist, you hear his influence more. So
would that put Ye on the Carti Mount Rushmore and not the other way around?
I don't think so. I think that Carti has Uzi and I'm gonna blank here on it because I haven't listened to Carti in a bit.
Swamp Izzo. He's got
Carti's known for.
Doesn't have the best.
If we're talking producers, Filthy's ahead of him. Because Filthy was actually making the beats on a lot of them.
I feel like Don Toliver and Carti, they're closer than I think you might think.
They're closer than I wanted to admit.
All right, I think they are.
Saying it out loud.
Moon is good, but let me give you something maybe that doesn't go Don Toliver's way. I think Kid Cudi does more of the heavy lifting on Moon. Because Don Toliver just has the like, I wanna go to the moon, and then Kid Cudi has like his like, he. When we go
I would disagree. I think
you think Don Toliver is better.
Yeah, because when you hear Moon, you think of the hook.
True. True.
Or I guess when you think of it, you hear the hook. Yeah.
At Field Trip, Ty's verse was the best on Field Trip, so I'm not giving that one to Don Toliver. His wasn't bad, but I'm not giving it to him there. And then OK was good, but Kanye washed him there again too, I think.
Yeah, his verse on OK wasn't that bad, but yeah, Kanye kind of used him.
Because Kanye, I felt like, rapped about stuff that was more important than like, I'm gonna make you rich, girl. That's just basically all Don Toliver was saying.
Right.
Carti though, Go to the Moon is like,
It is.
Off the Grid,
I think is.
Now we're talking.
Carti probably had the worst verse. Actually, he definitely.
He had the worst verse, but it's okay because 504 and peaked on that song, and Kanye had his best rapping on that song since. Kanye's best rapping came in 2016 on No More Parties in LA, and then with Off the Grid in 2021, and there's been nothing close since.
Yeah.
Out of the last 15 years, those are the only two songs where he raps well. I think it's messy, and his money could never neglect me. Carti's verse is kind of like, he talks about, I just tell my kids, I like shit.
Yeah.
And that's not even deep voice Carti.
I think that might be, I don't think his verse was as good as I thought.
I got a Rolls Royce, so when I wait to Kai, I ride It's high pitched Carti talking about. Compare it. Okay, let's just while you stir on that food for thought. Compare it to Carti's deep voice feature on Carnival.
It's better than that because I think deep voice Carti is kind of
barnacles.
Yeah, exactly. But I think.
But I felt like the big reason Carnival was so popular was because of Carti.
I think Carti's name being attached to it.
I think people like Carti's verse the most.
The reason it's so popular is. Admit it or not, it's TikTok Riz Party.
I think it's Carti and Riz Party.
I think it's Riz Party and it being fucking Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign and Rich the Kid and Carti having all their names slapped on there. I think it just brought in streams from all over the place. I don't think, honestly, I expected to have this opinion at the start of the video. I was going to be very pro defending Carti, you were going to be pro defending Don Toliver. I almost feel like, has Carti done that much? Producing or collaborating with Kanye?
I don't know.
Because in the past, I would have said yes. I don't know. 5 years later, I don't think his verse on Off the Grid was that good. Looking at it.
Fuck Some's a forgettable verse. Carnival's the only other one that, like, he has. Go to the Moon, like we said, was mad. Yeah. I think Carti's only, like, hype moment was Carnival. I'll tell you, Off the Grid put me on to Carti. I don't know how
you on to Carti.
I don't know how much you want to look into that, but I'll say his best verse was Carnival, and the other, it's not close to his other verses, simply because the other verses were like so down here. I think Don Toliver is like, as you said, he's kind of that like memorable piece of Moon.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna. We've only had a week to sit on it, but I like his verse. I'm not like, all right, get through it. I like it. I think it's solid. I think it's better than what you hear from Carti on Off the Grid. And then I would say Field Trip, kind of forgettable, but not bad. It's just Ty's verse really stands out on Field Trip. But Don Toliver also does the hook. Take her on a field trip. Take her on a ride. Like, he gets the catchy part of the song. Carti doesn't bring the catchy part of the song on Carnival, and he doesn't do it on Off the Grid.
He never has on any Kanye collab. And I think that's where I'm gonna make saying Don Toliver's on the Rushmore of Kanye collaborations does not add up. But Kanye collaborators, let me.
But quality over quantity, right?
Quality over quantity, but yet we just set the precedent that Ty Dolla Sign.
Ty has better songs than either Carti or Dom.
Right, but it's a volume thing with him too. He made a lot more shots because he put up more.
But also, true. he might have put up 20 shots, but he made 5 of them. Don's only put up 3 shots, and he's made 2 of them. So you gotta have some volume.
Carti's put up like 5 or 6, and he's made it's
2.
Two
I would say Carnival and Off the Grid's not bad.
Yeah, I'm being too harsh on Off the Grid. It's still a good verse and it's still a great song. I'm just looking at it. I thought it was like a great verse and a really great song. 5 years later, it's good, but
spot number 4, we're putting Don Toliver on the Ye Collaborators Mount Rushmore.
I need to think.
It's not as easy of a decision as
No, I'm introducing a new bombshell.
Okay.
How did they? Where are they at now? And I think you said it. He does not.
I just remembered that.
He does not really collaborate with Jay-Z anymore. He had a falling out with Kid Cudi. Ty Dolla Sign, you're the Kanye fan.
He's had a falling out currently. The only one he actively works with as of June 28th.
And here is my point.
Is Don Toliver.
That is my point. It's Kanye West. This is not Drake. This is not J. Cole. It's Kanye West. There is supposed to be a falling out. There is supposed to be a messy breakup. Is there a clip of Kanye crashing out on Don Toliver? Not to my knowledge.
Carti told me he was at the chateau with a gun. What that mean?
Boom. That is where I rest my case. Carti.
Fuck, you're right.
Slips
you're
in
so right.
to the Mount Rushmore
so right.
because of the falling out.
Wow.
Because of the beef. Because of the controversy.
Clap it up. That was impressive. You're right. Because you have to have that bond as a collaborator. Right. You know what they say, right? The opposite of love is not hate. You have to love somebody in order to hate them. I think that's what. Yeah, you're right. That's what pushes Carti over the edge.
If we're talking top 4, I think so. But what I kept going back to was I kept imagining Don Toliver's face on Mount Kanye, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? That's not. Yeah. That doesn't work. I imagine Jordan Carter. That sits right with me, and I had thought about that earlier when you were showing me the clip of Kanye crashing out on Carti, and then of course the Jews. Like, that's iconic.
Memorable.
I wouldn't. Sure, memorable.
Distinction's important.
You know what? It's good to have that standard. I don't see it with Don Toliver.
You're right.
So
hey, I mean, look though, Don's been in Ye's circle for less time. So perhaps Don Toliver, he's close though. I think what I learned with this is he is closer than you think.
And I think
if he stays around,
in terms of his music, I think he's probably ahead. I would disagree. I think not if he stays around, but if he leaves and how he leaves.
If he left right now though, it wouldn't push him over the edge.
No.
He's got to have a little bit more in order for something to happen, a falling out, because he hasn't left enough of a legacy with Ye. I don't think just yet.
And I don't want to clip farm Kanye's like mental health struggles for this point here, but you know, the falling outs he's had have mostly stemmed from his, episodes, being bipolar. I think Kanye, and I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not that tapped into Kanye's mental health right now, but he seems to be doing better as of now.
Yeah.
And he just put out, we just did a review on it, a solid album in Bully, and he improved on Bully. He did a good job on that deluxe. So I think if right now Don Toliver and Kanye fell out, it wouldn't quite be the same. It's Kanye having a full manic episode and them falling out that way. So time will tell. But as of right now, I've got Carti at 4, and Dave Blunts and Don Toliver are looking up at Mount Kanye.
Jay-Z, Kid Cudi, Ty Dolla Sign, Playboi, Carti, the Kanye West or Ye Mount Rushmore of collaborators. A lot closer than Wyatt or I expected.
Yeah. And that was a chase.
Yeah.
We both went back and forth from where we started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree though. I think time will tell. Bully Deluxe pretty solid, but maybe something will happen down the road and he's not messing with Ye anymore. So if you made it to the end, thanks. That's about it. like, subscribe. Boom! Boom, boom, boom! And we'll see you next time.